Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about when I decided enough was enough and I needed to get out of this relationship. When I made up in my mind that my body couldn't take no more of this sexual abuse. I didn't want to do the sexual acts to him that he was wanting me to do. And I just was tired. Mentally, physically, I was tired. So I planned how I was going to leave. I thought about it the night before, how it was going to take place. I was going to wait till he went to work and I would pack a suitcase of my clothes and my girls' clothes and go down to my grandmother's because I knew she would let me stay. I was determined because I couldn't take any more. I couldn't live there any longer because the hate was so strong and that I was afraid of what I would eventually do. So, for the safety of myself and my girls, I had to leave. I couldn't go back. I couldn't turn around and say, well, I'll give him another chance. I couldn't. This was a decision that I had to do. So, the day he went to work, when he got pulled out, I packed stuff so fast. And when I knew he was at work, I told my girls, we're going to stay with grandma for a while. And they said, okay. So I went down to my grandmother's. And I told her, I said, Grandma, I can't do it no longer. Can I please stay here? And she said, you know, you're always welcome. I'll never turn you away. You can stay here. I just pray that you stay here and don't go back if he comes by or if he happens to call or you feel that you need to go back or you're feeling lonely or you're feeling sad, you're feeling that you made a mistake and you need to go back and give him another chance. I told my grandmother, I can't. I made up my mind. I'm not going back. And so when he got off work and I saw him ride past my grandmother's house. He didn't see me looking out the window. And I knew when he got to the house, he was going to be mad. I left everything. I had bought a house full of furniture. I left everything. I wasn't going to worry about the furniture, none of that. I just needed to get away. And my grandmother worked. And when she would go to work, he would come by and knock on the door and start apologizing, start saying how sorry he was, and that he promised on his mother's life he would never, ever abuse me, hurt me ever again. And I kept saying to myself, I've heard this before. I went back because of what he said before. And it didn't get it was okay for a while. But then it started back over again. And so I told him, no, I'm not coming back. He laughed. He said, oh, I'll give you a couple of more weeks. because I know you're coming back. You always do. You don't stay gone long. You'll be back. And after a couple of months, about 3 months, he kept coming by, kept pleading and begging and putting on the fake tears and telling me, I love you so much. Even tried to get his mother involved and say, Mom, call her. I miss her. I love her. I want her back. I told his mother, I said, I can't do it no more. I said, I'm not going back to your son. I said, I gotta do this. I gotta raise my girls. And I don't need the frustration that I had with your son. I didn't tell her about the sexual abuse and being beat. I didn't tell her that. I just told her I got tired of the frustration and how he treated me and him messing with different women. I didn't want to go back to him anymore. And then he would try, tell his sisters, and they would try. And I told him, I said, I'm never going back to it. So just leave me alone. So I just got tired of this every other day, every week, every 2 weeks. He would come, plead, beg, cry, lie. So I called my oldest sister and I asked her, could I come and live with her? I told my grandmother, I said, if I stay here, I said, I just might go back because he's coming every day. She understood. So when I knew when he was at work, I called my sister and asked her, could she come now? So he can't see me walk out the house or follow us. She came. She got me. I went and I lived with her for a couple of years. I didn't tell her about the abuse. I didn't tell her none of that. I just told her, I said, I'm just tired and I need to change. I need to be a better mother, a better person. And I said, I just need time. And she said, you're not going back, right? I said, I'm not going back. And I meant that. I had got to the point where I was hurting so bad, you know, beginning to hate myself, hate him, hate everything about him. I got to the point if he wanted to have sex, however he wanted to have sex, I didn't care anymore. Just, because I lost all kind of feelings. It didn't matter anymore what he did, how he did it, how often he did it, what he made me do to him. I had lost me. And I knew that I had to not return to that. It wasn't easy. I thought about, he probably misses me and probably thinking about me. And I was feeling sorry for him. I told myself, well, maybe I should go back. And then I would look at my girls. And then I would start having visions of what he did to me. All the times that I would go back when he would say he would never do it again. And he did it again and again and again and again. I said, oh, I don't want to get in that cycle. I can't. I had to fight the feeling of going back to him because I was telling myself he needs me. Well, yeah, he sure did. So I had to fight that. I had to tell myself, no, you can't go back. I had to start redoing me because I had became somebody that I didn't like at all. I didn't love, and I needed help. And I couldn't go back to that environment because eventually one day my girls would see it. I thought, well, maybe one day he would even try to hurt them, or he would beat me so bad that the girls would come out the room and see it, him beating me. But I thought that way. I said, oh, no, 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 no. I can't, because I knew that it was heading down that route. It was heading that way, that they would eventually see him beating me. They would eventually hear him cussing me out, calling me out of my name, telling me I was nothing. They would eventually see this and hear it. And I did not want that to ever happen. So I stayed with my sister. I gave my life to the Lord. And I asked the Lord to help me because it was a struggle to not want to go back because I was feeling sorry for him and I thought that was love and it wasn't. I fought that feeling. I fought it. And then when I noticed that I can lay down, I can go to sleep. I'm not being beat anymore sexually. I'm not being abused anymore. That felt good. But yet the damage was still there. But it felt good to be able to sleep and not worry about him coming home beating me because I wasn't with him anymore. But the struggles in my mind was there. The sadness was there. The depression was there. The thoughts of hate was there. And I had to make up in my mind that revolving door, I would never go back through it. I didn't want that anymore. My body needed to heal. My mind needed to heal. And I would seek the Lord. I would pray. I would get in that Bible. I would read that Bible. He didn't know where we was at. And I made sure when I took the girls to school that I let them know he's not allowed to come and get them at all. He didn't try. He didn't try to come get them. He was just waiting for me to come back because he felt that I would eventually go back. But once you get out and your mind is made up, you don't return. You stay out. But then the process of building your self-esteem up had to start. I had to learn to love me. I had to learn to not beat myself up. I had to learn to not hate. And this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. It didn't. But I knew if I kept on this path that I was on with him, I probably wouldn't be living. So I had to go on a different path. I had to turn a 180-degree turn and do a complete change. It took time, a lot of tears, a lot of sad days. But I was determined not to go back. I was determined to be a better mother, a better young lady. So I fought to stay away from this man. I fought it. And so I didn't see him for a couple of years. I'm thinking, he left and I'm good. I didn't see him for a while. And that's when I was slowly taking the parts that wasn't any good out of my life and slowly putting parts that I needed to restore, to heal, to build me back up. So I pray I said something to help somebody, to let them know that you can get out, you can escape, you could go and start rebuilding yourself as possible. So I pray I said something. As always, thank you for listening. I still have more to say on how I got a deliverance within myself. So I pray that you continue to listen. Be encouraged, be blessed. Remember, the Lord loves you, and so do I. Have an awesome day, and thank you for listening.